Hi, it's Zach Allen, and I just wanted to say a quick thank you for signing up for my Magic Move training series. I sat down with my friend Aaron to put this video series together for you. So without further ado, let's get right into it.
Hi everybody, I'm Aaron Stackhouse, co-creator of the Perfect Impact System, and today is a special day because I'm sitting here with Zach Allen. Zach has been named one of America's best young teachers by Golf Digest. He's been named Southern California PGA Professional of the Year, and you might recognize him from YouTube. He has a ton of great videos on there. Yeah, I know I'm a fan, that's how I first discovered him. And so about 6 months ago, Zach reached out to me. He had a new teaching concept that he really wanted to share with us, so we talked about it and agreed to put together a 3-part training video series for you where Zach's gonna tell us a little bit about this method that he's been using to get such great results in his own game and also with his students. So Zach, thanks for agreeing to do this series with us.
No problem, it's very enjoyable.
Now, before we really dive into the details, if you wouldn't mind just giving everybody a little bit of your history as a player and as a coach.
Yeah, so I was a good junior golfer growing up in Orange County, state champion, got a scholarship to play at USC, played a little bit on the Asian Tour. Wasn't quite good enough to ever make it to the PGA Tour. My game kind of took a little downward trend at that point, just after college, but definitely have a pretty long background in competitive golf. So after playing for a little while professionally, I started teaching golf, and I've been teaching full-time ever since, thousands of lessons into it.
Great, but so this new teaching concept, the whole thing you're here to talk about, is actually pretty new though.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about how you discovered that? I think you had a story that started with an injury.
Yeah, so about a year ago, I broke my ankle right after I had knee surgery. So needless to say, I had a good 6 weeks off. Just kind of started diving in and researching the golf swing, probably more so than I've ever done in the past. And really happened to find a lot of very great new information. Unfortunately, at the time, I couldn't hit balls because I was, recovering and physical therapy and all that. But definitely started to find some things that were very intriguing and like nothing I'd ever seen in the 25 plus years of teaching golf or 35 years of playing golf myself.
So that's when you discovered this research from Dr. McKenzie.
Yes, yeah, Sasha McKenzie. He's a biomechanist up in Canada, and he has some very interesting research, like nothing that we've ever seen before, because obviously he's not coming from a golf background. He's just unbiasedly studying the movements of the club, the movements of the body, and what the better players do and what your amateur golfers tend to do. So as I started to get healthier, I wanted to test some of these theories out on myself, and the timing was just right. I just built an indoor teaching area in my home. I'm starting to recover, my strength is up, I can start to actually hit some short wedges and kind of half swings at this point. And like I said, I've been in the golf business for a long time. I know a lot of great golf instructors. I've read just about every book under the sun and researched almost every theory out there. So I wasn't expecting much to begin with here, but like I've never seen before, I definitely saw some huge benefits in my own personal game. That's why I'm so excited to share a lot of this info with all of you out there.
Great, yeah, and then I know there's a video on YouTube. I think it was the first day you took your new swing out on the course and kind of compared it with your old one. Mm-hmm. And we're going to put the clips on here so that people at home can watch that as well. But can you talk about that day a little bit? I think it was the first day that you tested it out on the course.
Yeah, no, so I'd been hitting indoors, mostly hitting wedges, and worked it up to closer to a fuller swing. But I was excited to be able to try it outdoors. I needed to film a video for my YouTube channel though, so that was the first day of hitting shots. And it was an interesting comparison because my previous golf swing was still very fresh in my muscle memory, so I had no problem executing that. It's the same one I've been using for years. But also I had started to train in some of these new movements. And it was pretty shocking just the amount of distance I was able to get and just the crunch on the ball, and really something that I've probably never done, or if I did in the past, it's been years since I've hit the ball that well.
Cool, that sounds exciting. So then you immediately started working this into your student lessons and teaching them some of the same techniques that you put in your own game?
I did, so, I was so excited about it myself and just all the benefits. And what was really nice, just as you're working on it yourself, everything is very fresh in your mind. The feels, the sensations, both good and bad and different. So I started to work on it with my students, and to me, that was kind of the true litmus test if it was something that would really stand the test of time and something that would benefit all the golfers out there. And, with all the different students I work with, from juniors to seniors, literally everybody was getting benefits, whether it be benefits in consistency, benefits in distance, improved ball striking on the golf course. And the thing I was most amazed, even students that I'd worked with for a longer period of time, I started to see changes in the movement patterns that we never saw before. That I literally thought, okay, they're just gonna have to deal with that for the rest of their life. It's just not gonna change. All these things started changing very rapidly.
So obviously that all sounds very exciting. I know the viewers at home would definitely like some more consistency, some more accuracy, and some more power. So would you mind giving us a little bit of a demonstration and start teaching some of these ideas?
For sure, I would love to. So the science can get pretty complicated, but let me give you a great analogy to keep it as simple as possible. We've all been to the lake before, and we've seen boats pulling kids in a tube. So you've got a boat, we've got a long rope attached to it, and kids in a water tube. And if the boat is just moving in a straight line, right, here's the boat, here's the kids in the tube, they're not having a lot of fun because the kids in the tube are basically going the same speed that the boat is going, right? Just in a nice line. Where we really start to see the kids have fun is when the boat starts to make a turn. That can definitely help you in the golf swing too. So you imagine here's my boat being pulled around by my body, and we're starting to see, as we make this turn around the corner, we're starting to see the kids in this tube start to really pick up and go a lot faster. That's the feeling that we want to give us the most speed at impact. So the turning motion and the rotation of my body is what's making that boat go around the corner, and it's really multiplying the speed and acceleration out to those kids in the tube, or in other words, the club head. So we see many of you that are doing things differently, pulling the club down from the top, flipping the club through this way. You're not getting that peak speed. So the analogy here would be, here's my boat, I'm pulling it around the corner by the rotation of my body, and I'm starting to feel the club head not only square itself up as it starts to turn the corner after the boat, but I'm starting to feel some of that free speed that I'm gaining from all the science involved that's bringing me around into the impact area. Once you start to feel that, we get that effortless feeling. We're not working so hard for all this distance, and it's a great feeling. It's what propels all the golf shots of good players, and it's not what all of you are getting on the shots that you're hitting out on the course. So one of the key pieces to that analogy is exactly where the kids are positioned on that tube. You can see here, if the kids on the tube are out like this already, like many golfers are, there's not a lot of time for that tube to accelerate or for the club head to accelerate. But if I can get up to the top, start to rotate my boat by shallowing this golf club in transition, I start to see a lot of benefit because now I've got the club head and the tube more behind and inside my hands. That move itself really starts to speed that club head up as we get into the impact interval. Just by simply positioning the club in a little better position here, I have so much more time for the kids in the tube and the head to accelerate rather than for those of you that are getting it out here already, and that's all we've got to hit the ball with. So back to the biomechanist who discovered a lot of this on his own. Through his research, at the same time, he hurt his front shoulder. He's left-handed, it was his right shoulder, but it would be my left shoulder. So instead of giving up on the entire golf season, he started practicing with just one arm only. And if any of you have ever done that, especially because it's usually our weak arm, it's very tough to hit golf shots with one arm only. We definitely start to lack in consistency and power. But what he found was he had to get the benefit of that club shallowing in transition to be able to hit the ball well at all. And you can see already there, as long as my club shallows a little bit coming down, I'm really starting to feel the benefits of that club getting thrown out and squared up through the hitting area without even doing very much as far as muscular effort. It's all happening just because science is reacting on my club in transition as it shallows, and then it just gets hurled out on its own. Just like the kids in the tube, just like the boat turning the corner, we get a lot of free speed that's great for hitting the ball farther. So some very obvious professional examples of this magic move would be like Sergio Garcia, Dustin Johnson, John Ram, and those are just to name a few. Everybody out there on tour is doing it, but what we see so many golfers out on the golf course doing, all you amateur golfers, is in transition, that club is steepening as it starts down. It's either steepening and coming over the top, or you're pulling down on the handle this way, but we're still not getting that benefit of that shallowing club in transition. So anytime you look at video footage of them, you're gonna see that same move up to the top, and then that club shallows this way in transition, brought about by the lower body leading, and then into the impact area with the club just whirling through, squaring itself up. It's something that differentiates your good golfer from your golfer that's struggling to get power and consistency. So anytime you see them on TV as you're watching golf tournaments, take a look at that move. Focus on that move. You're gonna see that every one of them are doing this to some degree, and it's what we need you all to start doing also.
Zach, so thanks for that. That was really cool to see, how some of those positions in the swing can really help you generate that consistency and the power and help square the club face all at the same time there.
Yeah, no, for sure. There's so many benefits in what we're talking about. And I just want you to all get excited, just like I was as I first started doing my research, just about the opportunities and the potential that's out there, and that we don't have to be stuck with that same tired golf swing that produces erratic and inconsistent results. So let's start to jump into some of the other things, kind of the meat and potatoes of what do we actually need to start doing to get some of these benefits working in our own personal swing.
Absolutely. So in the next video, we're going to actually go out on the course and have you work with some students, and we're going to see you and how you implement some of these concepts into actual swings.
Okay, so that's it for today, but we have so much more coming your way. In tomorrow's video, you'll have a front row seat as I work with some students on the magic move. You'll see not only how I teach these concepts to everyday golfers just like you, but we've got everyone hooked up to a launch monitor, so you'll be able to see just how quickly these changes can produce longer and straighter ball flights. This is something you won't want to miss, so be sure to keep an eye on your inbox for my next email.